Hi. How are you guys? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Um, I just decided to get into your space and share a few thoughts about what I think about artificial intelligence in our context. So, for example, in Nairobi, in Kenya, and generally, what I think are some of the things that are going to happen now that AI is with us and it's here to stay. And when you look at some of the progress being made across the spectrum in the industry, when you look at, for example, the leaders who everybody knows, OpenAI and their product ChatGPT, GPT-3 to be specific. GPT-4 that is coming in the next few days, and now this will have the ability to be able to interpret images. So when you look at these capabilities and these capabilities getting into the hands of common people, of us, it gives us so much in terms of potential of what we can do. Um, and with ChatGPT, for example, ChatGPT 3, we have already seen how it has disrupted learning, how it has disrupted knowledge acquisition. For example, rather than using Wikipedia to get new information, new data, and do your own research or basic research, you just go to ChatGPT and prompt it. So it's more about the question you ask, more than the answers you receive. So getting to really know what you want is getting to be very, very important. And so while we get into the future, I look at a future where it's a future of abundance, where uh, it's easier, to do something. It's easier to achieve production of something. It's easier to roll out a product or a service, or both offline and online. And I'll just use an example of robots, for example. When we have robots, and how these robots are able to work. And so when you look at GDP, so I'm talking from an economic disruption perspective, where when you look at something like GDP is the gross domestic product. This is the total output, okay? And an economy is basically GDP per capita times capita, basically. You get an economy. So this is all the value of goods and services we produce within an economy. And so when you look at this in the context of robots, these are not human beings. These are artificial creations we've made as humans. But now they will be able to work, they will be able to produce, they will be able to deliver outputs. And so I look at an age of an abundance where now we shall be having goods and services being accessed basically for free, because now if a robot can do something, then what do I do as a human? So I can say it will be an age of abundance where a lot of things will be easily accessible, a lot of things will be cheap. And I think the quality of life is going to improve exponentially in the coming years, the coming days, the coming decade. And I can't wait to see what this will bring. And I think we're living in the best of times as human beings, like civilization having evolved from the farming revolution to the industrial revolution to the internet revolution and now to the AI revolution. I think this is going to be huge for humanity. Another disruption that I see, I see it's when you look at how knowledge is acquired, how we apply knowledge. So uh, it's like we already have the answers. So what questions should we ask? And an AI basically is a system that takes data in its raw form. Then we have a computing power. So data in its raw form, a lot of data, for example, video or text across the internet. And then look at the computing power, that computers have developed. And when you look at all these, then we have advancement in the computing power, which has been made exponential by there are a lot of innovation in GPUs. These are graphical processing units. And so these are really going to power, for example, the VAR, the virtual reality world. And Apple just the other day released what is going to be their product. And I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. But we can see that the future is abundant, the future is huge, the future of AI is going to disrupt jobs, but it's going to bring more leverage in terms of what we can do as human beings, and it's going to be a world and a life of abundance. And maybe we should just go back to the basics of being amazing human being kind, being more loving, being amazing friends, amazing parents, being amazing members of our communities and parties of our individual countries. And so those are some of my thoughts about AI, and have a good time.